So, what we've got here is we play back. This will be part two. I'm going to just continue finishing out all the poses. Go out every couple frames. And now I'm going to repeat the process with the opposite foot leading forward. And I've got my contact here. And now I've got to go back to my down and my up passing position, etc. So from here, same thing. Go ahead, and this will be my down pose. So I'll start by taking the leg and rotating it slightly down, or maybe just from the, in this case, here. Take the ankle or the foot, bend it back up. Okay. And just so I have some movement here, I'm going to press the arrow key up, down, so I get that diamond to appear right here for my key pose. And it does look like the leg needs a little bit more movement than that, so I'm going to go ahead and slightly move it down. Okay, and as for my other leg, go ahead and bring that back and rotate. And you like to get a little bit variation of movement in every single body part. That one I'm going to sort of leave, and then this one I'll rotate slightly. And now I'll take the entire person and just slightly move them down. It's always good to just scrub through often. It looks like I should drag these over one more frame. To get the spacing correct. I'm just keeping it all the same exact spacing all the way through, just so it's easier to see for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in my next key pose, passing position. So we'll go ahead, bring them up a little bit. Rotate. 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 Slightly. And then for the other leg, here, rotate, and rotate, and take the foot and slightly rotate that too. Contact, down, passing, up, contact, down, passing. Next pose will be the up. Insert frame because I need some extra frames. Okay. And here. And now I'll take the other leg. Okay, so I've got play it back, just make sure that all your poses are right. Okay, and I think I can move them slightly down. I think that's a little too much up. And then I go back to the contact pose. And for that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my very first frame, highlight the poses, and just go ahead and I'm going to click and drag them over. Okay, so now I'm going to delete my ground line and my reference layer for now because I don't want them anymore. I'm going to play it back just to see. I think I actually put these just one, did I? Yeah, I think so. Just trying to keep the same timing for each pose. Okay, that's good. Come here, remove frames. Okay, so now I've got my walk cycle all animated here in within my symbol, all inside my zombie walk cycle symbol. They're just a bunch of symbols nested within one another. And now when I play it here, I need to make sure I actually have the correct amount of frames, so I'm just going to go out to frame 100 for now and hit insert frame. It's mechanical, but the poses are there. Now the reason it's so mechanical at the moment is because his body does not move at all. He's like a zombie robot. In order to fix this, just needs some bend in the body, and I can go back and do that now. So also the head, but I'll start with the body. And actually, so I'm going to need the head and the body. Control work? No. Command maybe? Okay, it's command. So command, I'm used to a Windows, so it's usually control, but here it's command to click two separate things. And I'm going to also need my left arm and right arm. And I'm going to start to add a little bit of body movement. To this guy. Tilt them a little bit back here. And here, I'm just sort of going with how his weight would be at the moment. Here he might lean back slightly. Down pose, have him lean forward. And his arms fell off slightly. Copy and paste those over, and the body. Click and then click and drag. So now I go back into my scene, and it should be a little bit it's still a little mechanical, but you play around with it enough, it'll lose that mechanical look. I'm going to do the arms next. So here I'll leave these, but once I get to this pose, I'll go ahead and move them down. And here, maybe I'll move them up slightly. I only have very limited motion for the arms. And even could do something like and just to lose and break up some of that really stiff movement. And just start to, and this is just a first quick pass, but hopefully you'll get the idea. And then it should go back to the default pose. Little weird wonkiness. I thought I'd break it up a little bit here, but this arm just looks kind of too weird. Play it back. And this arm here seems to just go too high. Play it back. Okay, go back into scene 1. And now we get a little bit more movement. And the next thing I'll do is I'll begin to add some animation on just the head movement. Here I'm going to leave that one. And just animate just the head. And this is where setting up the pivot points help a lot early on, so I don't have to go back and do that. Okay, so now I go back in here, play it back. It's kind of like a bobblehead. So maybe not such drastic movements. And subtlety can go a long, long way. But just to make sure you get those. Okay, so play it back. That's looking better. Okay, so the very, very last thing I do, now that I'm happy with what I've got here, is right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate just this one. Duplicate. For now, I'm just going to put it as that walk cycle complete, and the other one's just walk cycle. But what I'm going to do to get even a little bit more of that mechanical movement out of the way is on this particular one, on this frame, I'm going to select on the very last frame right before the last one, I'm going to select everything. I'm going to just press up, down. And then here, I'm going to remove this very last frame, because now it's going to animate up until this frame and then cycle back to here, so it won't animate on twos for just one frame. So now, it's not much, but it does certainly help a little bit. So now I've got this one. And this one should be one frame shorter. And that's where it loops back. But anyway, it does have a very slight subtle one frame difference on the cycle, but it helps a lot. Get rid of that really mechanical kind of, every time it loops back, it goes back to playing two frames in a row, because you have the very first and last frame is the same in this one. On this one, you just get rid of that very last frame, so it has one smoother transition into the next pose. Anyway, so this is the one I'm happy with, and then I can do anything else I want on my stage, background, and for now I'm just going to do a ground line, but you get the idea. And that certainly helps a little bit too, having that. Okay, so that's walk cycle basics in Flash. Pretty simple. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.